Have you ever wondered what you'll do when your survival stockpile starts to run low during a crisis? Today, we're diving into an essential survival topic: bartering in a crisis. You thought you were prepared, having stockpiled supplies for just this type of scenario. But what happens when the crisis drags on longer than expected and your stock is dwindling? The answer lies in an age-old practice: bartering. We'll be exploring the most valuable items for bartering in prolonged survival situations. From basic necessities to trade-worthy luxuries, knowing what items hold value can make a significant difference in your survival strategy. It's about more than just survival, it's about being prepared for every eventuality. So let's delve into this crucial survival strategy and examine the items that could prove invaluable when it comes time to trade. It's time to consider what items you should start collecting now for potential bartering later. First up, let's look at clothing and blankets. When we think of survival, food and water often take center stage. However, protection from the elements is just as crucial. Imagine being in frigid conditions without proper attire or a good blanket. It's not a pleasant thought, is it? Warm clothing, sturdy shoes, and blankets are essential, especially in colder climates or when the seasons change. They can ward off hypothermia, frostbite, and other cold-related ailments. But their value isn't limited to personal use. They can also serve as high-demand barter items in a crisis situation. Everyone needs to stay warm after all, so consider stockpiling extra coats, boots, gloves, hats, and blankets. They don't have to be fancy or brand new, just functional and durable. Remember, in a survival situation, staying warm can be a matter of life and death. Next, we have alcohol and other luxury items. There's a reason these items have been cherished throughout history. In survival situations, commodities like alcohol, tobacco, and coffee can serve multiple roles. Besides their obvious recreational uses, these items can be used as coping mechanisms, helping to ease the stress and tension of difficult circumstances. They can also serve as a currency in their own right, often holding significant value in barter exchanges. Imagine being able to trade a bottle of whiskey or a packet of cigarettes for a much-needed tool or a bag of rice. And let's not forget the potential medicinal uses of alcohol. From sterilizing wounds to serving as a rudimentary anesthetic, these are not just luxury items, they're potential lifesavers. In trying times, these items can provide a small sense of normalcy and comfort. Moving on to food and seeds. It's no surprise that food holds immense value in a crisis. Non-perishable foods like canned goods and freeze-dried meals are not only convenient, they're easy to store and transport. These foods can be a lifeline when the going gets tough, providing necessary energy and nutrition. But let's not stop at ready-to-eat meals. Consider the value of seeds for gardening. In a prolonged crisis, having a sustainable food source becomes crucial. Seeds are lightweight, easy to store, and with a little care and patience, they can yield a bounty of fresh food. From tomatoes to beans, potatoes to corn, the variety is endless. Think about it. Seeds aren't just a meal, they're a promise of meals to come. They offer the potential for self-sufficiency, making them extremely valuable in an ongoing crisis. Remember, when it comes to survival, food is always a top priority. Let's not forget about skills and information. In a crisis, having a physical stockpile is important, but possessing valuable know-how can be a game changer. Think about it. If you're the only one who knows how to fix a generator or purify water, you're suddenly in high demand. Skills like basic first aid, mechanical repairs, and survival techniques can be invaluable. But it's not just about what you can do, it's also about what you know. Knowledge of local plants, wildlife, and safe travel routes can be life-saving. Information about nearby resources such as water sources or abandoned structures can also be traded. Remember, skills and knowledge aren't just for your benefit. They can be passed on, taught to others, in exchange for goods or services. This is a different kind of barter, one that doesn't dwindle your supplies. In a crisis, knowledge and skills can be just as valuable as physical items. Now, let's talk about ammunition and defense items. In a survival situation, personal security becomes a top priority. As law and order can become unpredictable, self-defense items like ammunition, knives, and protective gear often skyrocket in demand. These items aren't just for personal use, but they also hold significant bartering power. Ammunition, for instance, is not only vital for hunting game, but also for deterring potential threats. Knives, on the other hand, serve multiple purposes, from preparing food to cutting materials, and yes, self-defense. Protective gear such as helmets, gloves, and body armor can also be invaluable, particularly in more hostile environments. Remember, when it comes to survival, your safety is priceless. These items provide a level of security that can make a world of difference when the chips are down. Safety is paramount in survival situations. Never underestimate the value of defense items. Next up, fuel and power sources. In a survival scenario, these commodities become invaluable. Let's think about it. Your ability to cook food, stay warm, and maintain light during the dark hours largely depends on your fuel and power supplies. Propane, gasoline, and diesel are all conventional fuel types that can be stored for long periods. These fuels can power generators, heat homes, and cook meals. On the other hand, alternative energy sources like solar chargers and batteries are also essential. They're sustainable, renewable, and provide a measure of independence from the grid. Solar panels can charge batteries, power radios, and even run small appliances. Remember, the ability to generate and store power can make life in a prolonged crisis more manageable. It's not just about survival, it's about maintaining a level of comfort and normalcy in challenging times. When the grid goes down, alternative power sources can be a lifesaver. Let's consider tools and repair materials. In a survival scenario, the value of tools cannot be overstated. From simple hand tools like hammers, screwdrivers, and wrenches, to power tools and vehicle repair kits, these items are essential for maintaining shelters and equipment. Imagine you're in a situation where you need to fix a leaky roof, repair a broken door, or even maintain your vehicle. Without the right tools, these tasks become near impossible. A multi-tool, for instance, can be a lifesaver, providing a range of useful functions all in one compact package. Think also about basic repair items like nails, screws, and duct tape. They may seem mundane now, but in a post-crisis world, their value skyrockets. Being able to mend broken items or reinforce structures can significantly enhance your living conditions and overall safety. Remember, in a crisis, the ability to repair and maintain your gear can make a huge difference. Now, on to medical supplies. In the face of a crisis, when professional medical care might be out of reach, having a stash of medical supplies can be a real lifesaver. We're talking about more than just your average first aid kit here. Essential items range from bandages and antiseptics to antibiotics and prescription medications. Pain relievers, whether over-the-counter or stronger prescription variants, can be worth their weight in gold. They can ease the discomfort from injuries, illnesses, or even just the daily stresses of survival. Antibiotics, too, are incredibly valuable. They can fight off potentially life-threatening bacterial infections when a doctor's visit isn't an option. Don't forget about hygiene items either. Things like hand sanitizers, soap, and toothpaste can help prevent illness in the first place. And lastly, if you or a loved one has a medical condition that requires specific medication, ensuring a supply of these could be paramount. In a survival situation, having access to medical supplies can be a game changer. Last but not least, water purification supplies. In a survival situation, access to clean water is paramount. It's a simple fact of life. We can't survive without water. And in crisis scenarios, water sources may not always be safe. This is where water purification items become crucial. Things like water filters, purification tablets, and portable purifiers can transform questionable water sources into drinkable sustenance. They can remove bacteria, parasites, and other harmful substances that can lead to illness or worse. And here's an interesting point. Knowledge of water purification techniques is also a valuable commodity. Being able to teach others how to purify water using natural or makeshift methods can be a game changer. So when you're planning your survival strategy, don't overlook the importance of water purification supplies. They are not just tools for survival, but also top bartering chips that can be exchanged for other essential items. Clean water is a must in any survival scenario. Make sure you're prepared. As we've seen today, a variety of items can become invaluable in a barter economy during survival situations. From the basic necessities of clothing and blankets to the morale-boosting luxuries of alcohol and tobacco, each item holds a unique value in a crisis. Non-perishable foods and seeds become precious commodities, providing sustenance and a promise of sustainability. Skills and information, too, hold immeasurable worth in these times, as does the assurance provided by ammunition and other defense items. The importance of fuel and power sources can't be overstated, whether it's propane for cooking or solar chargers for keeping devices operational. Tools and repair materials become the lifeblood of maintaining shelters and equipment, while medical supplies and water purification items can literally mean the difference between life and death. Start collecting and learning about these items now to ensure you're prepared to trade effectively when the time comes. Thank you for joining us today. Remember, knowledge is power, so don't be a stranger. Tap that like button, subscribe for more valuable insights, and hit the bell to never miss an update. We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences, so drop a comment below. Do you have any barter items in mind that we didn't cover? Any experiences with bartering during emergencies? Sharing is caring, and your contributions could help someone out there. Stay prepared and keep surviving.